I'm Shirakawa from Ui Transport. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you. I've heard that you have something you'd like to apologize for today. What would that be?
Well, in 2024, we announced our withdrawal from the Sapporo and Hakodate routes with very little time left before the events, which caused a lot of confusion. And for that, I am truly sorry.
Was there a big response or reaction to that, just out of curiosity? Is it still ongoing?
The reaction? Well, many of our customers still don't really understand our decision. Even now, people still ask me, why did you do it?
I see. Right. When they ask why, do they mean, why did you stop? Is it with the nuance of it should have been profitable?
Oh, I don't think they necessarily think it's profitable, actually. Oh, but, well, I guess there are both types of people. There are those who wonder, it's so close, so why? And I think there are also those who assume that's why you must be making money.
I see.
But you see, Hakodate is a one-way trip, so to speak. You leave today and arrive tomorrow morning. Well, it's usually after evening. In the end, compared to going to the main island, it's a 2-day, 1-night trip. It's a bit shorter, sure, but it definitely takes 2 days. It's not that profitable of a route. It requires that much manpower.
Ultimately, a company is an organization that aims for profit, but isn't it simply normal to withdraw or actually stop if it's not making a profit, generally speaking?
No, I think it would be profitable if we kept running it.
Oh, well.
That might be why it's hard for people to understand. Since other companies are still operating, people ask, why can others do it, but Ui Transport says they can't? I get that a lot. Well, precisely because we are for profit, I don't think it's enough to just make a profit this year or next year. As I've always said, I want to contribute to this industry long term and keep providing our services. If we push too hard, there's a real risk we could be forced to stop entirely. But we still have to operate at full capacity, you see. If you look at how we've managed the Sapporo and Hakodate routes until now, I was out there myself on the front lines. I was doing a lot of the driving, and we had a group of semi-retired drivers who were off the main rotation, older staff members, and because we had them, we managed to scrape by, though it was a real struggle.
Right, yeah, okay.
But naturally, as they get older, they can't keep driving forever. And some of them can't even go out on the road anymore. People who can't go out in the field, well, they're starting to appear, or rather, they're already here. And naturally, more people will continue to retire from now on. So it's becoming physically impossible. Even if we were operating at full capacity, it would be, or rather, I think it already was. Right now, compared to 2024, yeah, the number of people who used to help us has already decreased.
That's true. The overall age of the drivers themselves is also rising, and it's tough even doing the same routes. Plus the 2024 problem. With all these factors overlapping, the decision to withdraw was based on that foresight.
That's right. Well, that was my management decision, but every business owner has their own management judgment. You're stating the obvious, Shirakawa-kun, is what some people say to me. While others are like, what are you talking about? Well, no one says it to my face, though. Why, when you're just saying something so obvious, is the industry making such a strange fuss? I hear that kind of thing quite often. Even if I think it's obvious, there are people who don't think it's obvious.
Well, that's a matter of interpretation and perspective. Do you have any intention of bringing it back in the future? The Sapporo-Hakodate route?
Well, if we had highly skilled, it's impossible all of a sudden, but if suddenly 14 or 15 highly skilled people who can handle horses and drive were available, and 7 vehicles, if we suddenly got all that, even if we couldn't operate like before, I think we might be able to operate to some extent.
Isn't that pretty much impossible, based on what you've said so far?
Yes, it might not even be a miracle. Well, it just goes to show how much we were forcing things to work.
The fact that others are still doing it means they're just continuing to force it, right? Isn't that it? So it feels like it's gonna collapse eventually, doesn't it? If a horse transport company specifically for Hokkaido were to be established, do you think they might be able to cover it? Is that also tough?
You mean specializing in Hokkaido?
Specializing.
The season is limited, you know.
That's right, it's not year-round.
Well, if there were a company that could make it work, that would be great. But they'd probably have to do other work during the off-season, if that could be sustainable. Otherwise, the freight rates would become quite high. Even so, if the JRA decides they have to make it work, would there be funding for that? If they absolutely have to make it work, then I suppose there would be.
As you mentioned in a previous video, Sapporo Hakodate in Hokkaido, Niigata, and Kokura in Fukuoka. It seemed like things would be tough if they continued like this.
That's right. OE Transport doesn't really go that way much, so I think it'll be more like Race Transport or other companies that end up doing that. Especially Kanazawa and Niigata, you really can't get anywhere there anymore. Even before the 2024 problem, it was like that. So it's really become like relay transportation. We can hardly go there directly. It was the same for us, and I've heard others say the same, but you know, unless there's a full load of horses, we basically can't go directly. We take them part way, and then another company takes over, and that's still the case now.
So is there a chance Kanazawa horse racing might become impossible?
Yeah, I'd say so. So, in the end, companies hauling from Hokkaido partway are managing somehow, and we've done that occasionally too. But it comes down to whether you can secure that route. Otherwise, even companies that can haul partway from Hokkaido will disappear. As for why racing was possible in Kanazawa in the past, I might have mentioned this before. There used to be many horse transport companies. There were also many regional racetracks nationwide. And because they were everywhere, it was efficient, you see.
Ah, so it worked out well.
Yes, exactly, that's how it was. Now, there are so few that the remaining ones feel like remote areas. Yes, since you have to go all the way out there. If you don't have a full load, you'd be going at a huge loss for just one horse. And then, it's really a question of whether you can actually get paid enough in freight to make it worthwhile. Even if you decide to go for just one horse, the total transport volume nationwide, well, honestly, it's a waste of resources. If a single truck goes out just to carry one horse, then you're not making use of the space for the other 5 horses that could have fit in that same truck. That's the main issue that we really need to address because it's exactly what's happening right now. I think we talked about this, giving up on places like Sapporo, Hakodate, and Kokura and concentrating resources elsewhere. Even if we build new tracks, we should put them where routes are secure or relocate places that are becoming unsustainable. If we do not, it simply will not work. Resources will just end up being scattered everywhere.
For the users or people buying betting tickets, there isn't much impact yet since races are still being held. I wonder when the real impact will truly hit us, whether it happens this year or perhaps even next year. I have a feeling that it is coming soon.
Even we could face some kind of penalty tomorrow, you know, especially us. Everyone faces that risk, yet they keep going and taking those risks. And if even one of the companies we're talking about can't make it, the whole thing would probably collapse.
Right, so it's really on the edge now.
They transport a pretty large percentage of the horses that are racing, you know.
Haven't those details been worked out with the organizers yet?
In the end, the organizers, as things currently stand, actually have not really managed to sit down together at the table in a proper, formal way just yet. Well, although some people do genuinely feel a real sense of crisis about the situation, for them to actually pass that concern up the chain of command, they're in a position where they really need to have proper official documentation in place before they can move forward.
So, like you've said in other videos, having that data is the most important thing right now.
That's right. I mean, naturally, the organizers can't be expected to fully understand the current reality of what's happening at the transport companies. They don't see the actual operations. Even if they understand the laws or the wording of official notices, they wouldn't know how things actually move on the ground. Unless those things come together, they won't be able to see that this is how it is now, and this is how it'll be in the future or next year. So that's why we have to make sure we can bring that information to light as soon as possible. I ended up causing quite a stir, but as for my answer, I still think it's just not possible. Sapporo and Hakodate.
Yeah, absolutely.
If we're really going to maintain these events, we have to act right now. including race transporters from all over the country. It's about how much we can concentrate there, whether we can organize the trucks, the horses, and those routes. With no discussions even started yet, that's just impossible. If there were a real possibility, of course we'd want to be involved, but no matter how you look at it, it comes down to choosing one or the other. If we're transporting during the Sapporo and Hakodate races, we won't be able to go to Honshu. So if we suddenly got more people and trucks, then maybe it could work out. It's just a matter of how to use limited resources. So if we choose Hokkaido, we have to say we're not going to Honshu. That's my conclusion as of right now.
This is actually a pretty sad topic, for our future videos. I mean, it really is, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and they've both just been renovated too. It hasn't been that long for either Sapporo or Hakodate. And now, you can buy online and the number of fans shot up during the pandemic. The amount spent per person might be down, but the number of fans, including younger people who are buying, has increased. Things like Uma Musume have been a catalyst for growth, which is a good trend. So the fact that people might not actually be able to see the races there, well, it might be a rather sad thing, but perhaps they can still hold some kinds of special events or gatherings, even if people can't actually see the real horse racing happening on site. It could serve as a place to help build up a fan base for other horse racing events that are held nationwide, or something along those lines, since we do have it, after all. We can make effective use of it.
Don't you think you just have to go?
Go there?
If you can have a positive conversation through that.
There's a dream in that, isn't there?
But originally, the number of visitors is low. The further you go into the countryside, the fewer people at the race courses.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Hardly anyone comes all the way from Honshu to see Sapporo or Hakodate.
Only the real enthusiasts do.
People living in Sapporo go to Sapporo, but
And going all the way from Sapporo to Hakodate.
it actually takes over 4 hours, which is quite a long time, not even by car,
Yeah, hearing that, many people like Hokkaido, but it's not somewhere you can just pop over to.
It feels like a major expedition.
From what I hear, it's the kind of thing where you plan extensively for a 3-day, 2-night trip. Thank you very much for today.
Thank you very much.
Ohe Unso is currently looking for drivers. Please check out our recruitment site or corporate site. If you are interested, we look forward to your application.